Good morning, YouTube. So last week or so I've been taking this one cell and I've tested it in all 8 of my ZB206 Plus dischargers, and you can see some of them are still flashing the capacity from that test. So the idea is I took this one cell, I charged it to 4.1 volts in my Turnigy AccuCell battery charger, and then I ran it through all 8 of these dischargers to get an idea of how consistent these units are and how they line up with my other chargers. So I did all 8 of these. I did one of them twice. So for testing, I started out in my number 7 unit. That's where I initially had done a discharge test on this cell. And then I went to number 8, ran through 1 through 6. So I retested this number 7 unit before and after so I could see if there were any changes to this cell. And then I also tested the same cell in my Turnigy charger and then in my iCharger 1010. So let's go take a look on the computer screen and see what the data looks like.
So I started with number 7, went to number 8, then I tested 1 through 6 and tested number 7 again. Also used my Turnigy AccuCell 8150 charger, tested that with and without balance cables, and then I did the same test on the iCharger 1010B Plus with and without balance cables. Did all the charging on the Turnigy. I had it set to 4.1 volts and 600 milliamps for all the charges. And then I did the discharges all set to 3 volt cutoff and 1 amp. So I put all the data over here on a bar chart on the side. The blue bars are the charge capacity reported by the Turnigy, and then the orange bars are the discharge capacity. And you can see that the Turnigy seems to be under-reporting the charge capacity, or everything is over-reporting the discharge capacity. I don't know which one is more accurate. Another thing to note here is, for instance, number 3 and number 6 were quite low charges. Over here on the side, I noted that number 3 was done at night and number 6 was charged at night. Those both came out with rather low charge capacities compared to the charges that were done during the day, because the Turnigy is outside connected to my lead-acid battery bank, and I think that cold weather affects the charging. So if we look here, the device number 7 I tested twice. I got 1584 and 1598. So that's within about 1%. I guess that's saying the repeatability is pretty good and that the cell itself didn't degrade between all the testing. Let's see a couple other things. The Turnigy charger does not seem to pay attention to the balance cable with just a single cell. And you can see it's very repeatable. I came out within 1 milliamp hour on the cell capacity. iCharger does pay attention to the balance cable, and you get significantly lower capacity if you have the balance cable connected versus not connected. So I don't know the significance of that, but I have observed that before. And let's see, if we look at the testing here, you can see the iCharger is significantly lower readings than all the rest. The Turnigy up here is pretty much in line with the ZB206 units. And if you look at here, I did the average 1610, 1595. So they're, within 1% of each other. The ZB206 were within plus or minus 3% of each other. One thing I did, just to check out this night charging issue, I took this number 3 charger and I charged the cell up yesterday afternoon and I plugged it into the number 3 charger and I came up with 1648 milliamp hours, which puts the number 3 up here pretty close to the highest capacity instead of the lowest, and it drops the variation down to plus or minus a little over 2%. That's pretty promising that these units are all within a few percent of each other, so I think they're reasonable enough to use. The biggest variation I saw was if I took the average charge capacity reported by the Turnigy, that varied by plus or minus 5%. So not sure what all is causing that, but I think this will be a better system going forward, because before I was testing cells in the Turnigy, the iCharger, and then also in my iMax B6 charger, which I didn't test this time. But there is more variation between these different chargers than there are between these 8 dischargers. I'll test capacities until I get about 100 pair of cells that fall within my desired capacity range. Then I take those 100 pair, sort them into 10 groups of 10 that are approximately the same capacity, and then I use the iCharger 1010 to test those groups of 10 pair of cells, and I then adjust those pack capacities by swapping pairs of cells in or out to raise or lower the measured capacity, and then that's what I use to build the final pack. So the final say on my capacity is what the iCharger says. This first sorting pass I think I can do on the ZB206 and come up with some pretty consistent readings. So I'll try to do more consistent procedure here. So I'll do all the charging here, I'll do the final charging here, I'll do all the discharging here, and then the iMax, which seems to be the least repeatable of all my devices, I'll just keep it for doing storage charge after discharging a group of cells. So I think by doing that, I'll try to minimize the variations, because before I was charging on whatever charger was open, I was discharging on whatever charger was open, and I think mixing things up like that resulted in a lot more variation. So hopefully going forward, I'll try to minimize things by having one charger, one group of dischargers, and then I'll save the iCharger for doing the final testing. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments about that, post up in the comment section below. I'll put any update videos over here on the side. And as always, thanks for watching. Oh, and I just wanted to give a shout out to my good friend. He's in the hospital over the holidays. I'm pulling for you, buddy. Hope you get better soon. We'll catch you later.